boys and girls. Today I want to talk about art and whether or not you think that art can serve a purpose. I hope your teacher is pausing the video right now just so that you can talk amongst yourselves and tell me, what do you think? Can art serve a purpose? What would that purpose be? Pause it now. Are you done? I heard some really great ideas. If you want me to actually hear them, leave it in the comments below in this video. Well, one of the ways that art can serve a purpose is sharing ideas. Another way that art can serve a purpose is in a diary or a journal. This is called a bullet journal, and it's not what you think. It's like bullet points of taking notes, but it serves your purpose of things that you need to do in a day, goals you're setting, important dates that you need to remember. We're going to talk about that when we set up our bullet journal. So this is my first bullet journal ever. I'm gonna give it a try, see if it works. I've watched a lot of bullet journal videos on YouTube. This one is provided by Artist Loft. They were on sale at Michael's. Buy one, get one 50% off. This kind has dots as a grid. So when you open it up, it has this orange, then a couple of plain sheets, and then starting on the right hand side, you can see dots, which will just make it easier to work with. Now, one of the bullet journal setups that I've seen starts on this page, but it has to be on the left hand side in order to count out all of the grids and help me determine how to use the journal a little bit easier. Using this set of artist pens that I got at Five Below for $3, I'm going to take the smallest tip, or the 0.2 tip, and mark out all of the dots on my page. To do this, I'm going to make it easier on myself and turn it. Now I'll do the top. Now that I see how many dots I have on the top and on the side, I can determine how to do my spacing of boxes and things for my planning. With 29 dots at the top, I thought that doing 7 days a week across the top would be a little too cluttered, which would only give you 2 dots per day and 1 dot spacing between them to be able to read. Instead, let's do 4 days and then 3 days. I got this set of thin markers at Dollar Tree. Using a straight edge, this time it's a popsicle stick, but normally I use a ruler, as some of you may know. I'm going to do one space, then 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that'll be 1 day. Then 1 space again, And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
One space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a space at the edge.
That's for a 4-day spread. Let's say I want to do a 3-day spread. If I wanted to keep with the 1-point spacing, I could make each of my brackets 8s, but I think that would be a little too much. So I'm going to do 2 spacing and 7 brackets. That'll look like this. Let's say I want to do the same thing, but this way instead. So, with my 36 dots, I'm going to divide them, subtract 1, and now figure my spacing will be 3 spaces on either side, 7 and 1 for each space. Ready? And here we have it. Your vertical and horizontal spreads. Just so that I don't forget, I'm going to line them in my black marker with the numbers of how many I have in each section. Some spreads do a midpoint, so that's what I'm going to do here. The middle of 29 is 14.5, so I'm just going to choose whichever feels best for me, 14 or 15, and I chose the yellow so that it's not in your face, but I can still see my mark. The midpoint of 36 is 18. So I'm going to make that mark. So now I can divide my bullet journal any way that I choose for those different choices. All I needed to add to this page now was a snazzy title. So this is my grid spacing guide. You may be asking yourself, what did she draw in the corner there, and why is she using this Sharpie to color it in? Well, every bullet journal and every spread needs a theme. So, this shape is going to go along with the theme to opening my bullet journal. You'll see that on the next page that I create. In your school careers, you have been reading and absorbing stories for most of your life. They all have themes. The theme is the message the author is trying to get across to the reader. Thinking about a theme is thinking that a theme applies to the whole or most of the story. It suggests a life lesson. There can be more than one theme, but there should be one central theme. And it should encompass as much of the action as possible. Just like in your pictures, just like in your bullet journal. Some of you are coming to a brand new school this year, and some are returning, but trying to get acclimated into new classrooms with new teachers and new classmates. I myself am going through some changes, so I figured a compass would be the perfect theme for my new bullet journal. And I fell in love with this quote. You might recognize it from Peter Pan. To live would be an awfully big adventure. I want to make a spread for my reference photos. So I'm going to cut the page in half, make my label spreading outward so it's even, and to do that, I'll go back to my grid, and I can see that of the 29 spaces, I need 14 or 15. I'm starting on the left-hand side for continuity. So here's 14, and now I can start with my label. I want to start a little bit lower. Here, I'm just delineating spaces for the page that the picture can be found on, the date in which I received the reference photo, and what the reference photo is. Just like in math, your bullet journal also needs a key. A key can be a word or a symbol that dictates what you're looking for, so your brain automatically knows what it is and can work more efficiently. I'm taking some time here to draw some old-fashioned keys in the gold and brass style of the compass. That's our theme for the bullet journal. What's important to some people to remember may not be important to other people. As a standard of a key, you want to write task and how you're going to annotate when it's completed. I'll do that with a filled in circle. Any appointments, bill payments. I find it interesting to mark the books that I've read and the number. So I drew a little book image with a number sign inside. Sometimes I'll read more than one book if they're small children's books. And then, because I'm a teacher, it's important for me to know when grades are due and when my plans are due. All of that is on the left-hand side of my key. On the right-hand side of my key, I have the standard anniversaries, birthdays, when I'm going to the dentist, when I'm getting my oil changed, or anything else pertaining to the car, as dictated by the letter C. That's my symbol. And if there's a party. Another suggested spread could be when did I last, for all of those things I've listed. I'm making a table of contents. This is just for future reference so that I can see exactly where these key pages are. And I've noted that it's going to be about 4 pages worth of blank lines that I need to make in order to continue this throughout my bullet journal. These may vary depending on what your labels are and your subject matter. now I'm just making a future log for the months ahead that I haven't planned out their daily spreads yet. I wanted to stick with my colors from my bullet journal theme of gold, silver, and bronze. And when I think about the future, I think about space travel or UFOs. So that's what I drew in the corners of my future log. I also used a futuristic font for the title of the section. And I cut out the months from a previous planner that you can find at the dollar store. And now here's a final flip through.